listening to PartyNerdz Weekly.
Party nerds in the house! Wait, was that right? Did we do it right this time? Director? The evil Anakin Skywalker of editing? Guys, welcome to the party. Party nerds in the house. And I'm just gonna run by the cast real quick. As you guys know, we have Satan, Mephisto, aka Jorge Vergara, at the controls. That bearded wonder himself, the other devil, he's more like Nightmare, I'd say. Give it up for Bravo.
Yay me!
Bravo, first of all, I mean, you're looking clean today. Are you ready to get married? Are you ready to lock it down, bro?
Bro, I got quarantine hair going on. Like this is just normal beard. This is like, yeah, I'd say this is a week for me.
It's like you shave it and then you wake up in the morning, you got another beard. Like you're a mutant.
Bro, I sneeze and I grow a beard.
And also we have his bearded competition back. Guys, give it up for no. Never doubt your beard. Never doubt your beard. It's a wonderful beard, Dom. Guys, give it up for Dom Charland. You look fantastic.
See what you did there.
And guys, we have one of the cast members from WandaVision herself. Give it up for early 2000s versions of Wanda. Give it up.
Somebody better be bleeding, broken, or on fire.
Whoa, Red Riding Hood?
I'm a Sokovian fortune teller.
For Samantha.
Yeah, both Vision and Wanda are there.
We have to save the best for last.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what is a show without Al Jarreau?
God damn it.
My
Man, we got to do better than this.
Not doing that shit.
Give it up for Grandmaster FAQs.
That's the one.
That's the only light-skinned joke? Okay.
Per show. Quota. My contract.
You do more than one, and it changes the rating of the show.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, let's talk about this episode because every week it's always like Marvel does such a good job of when you have some questions answered, they open up a Pandora's box of like 20 more. So in this episode, what's that?
They try to make you forget.
Exactly.
In this episode, we are in the early 2000s, I guess, kind of, because I want to ask y'all about that, because in the movie, you saw The Incredibles and Parent Trap, but those movies were like gapped.
98 to 2004, I think, was the gap there. So somewhere in that late 90s, early 2000s, you know.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, Malcolm in the Middle was the theme.
Exactly.
Right. So, and you had that typical Malcolm in the Middle feel and stuff like that. But let's start from the beginning of the show, because at the beginning, you remember how Malcolm in the Middle, they would always talk to the camera, you know, they would narrate. That was early Bryan Cranston days when he was the father back on the show. So they followed that formula to a T. But let me ask you about Pietro. Do you guys notice that he's always aware of what's going on? Like when the kids were talking about him, he was listening. Did you guys notice that?
He breaks the fourth wall a la Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. Because first of all, Bravo is, matter of fact, I think Mephisto is Bravo. This is Bravo Vision, actually. about Pietro? Like what, obviously everyone's speculating, oh, he's Mephisto. He's using the dead bodies as puppets. Like what is he trying to do with the kids? Why is he trying to connect with them?
Well, the thing is, he's the one person that's basically like sitting there almost as like the caregiver of them. So anytime they're doing the narrations in this so-called reality that Wanda's bending, he's following along. And normally in those type of episodes, when somebody's narrating the episode, everybody's just supposed to act normal and do what he's doing. He's staring at the kids, like almost following along with what they're doing. Even in the point when they went around to the door, and like she answered the door, closed the door after the kids left and everything like that. When she turned around, he scared the shit out of her. You know, that wouldn't normally happen if Wanda owns this reality. You're not supposed to like just spook somebody out of nowhere.
Yeah, she even said, don't do that again. But like, you'll notice in the previous episode, it showed like she can't control the babies and she can't control Vision. Now we're seeing that she can't fully control Pietro either.
At all.
At all.
She seems to be fairly aware of what's happening in the grand total. Like he knows about how this world's Pietro died. He knows that Vision died, even though if he was the Pietro from this world, that would have happened after he died. So how would he know that?
Yeah, and even later on in the episode, he references to Wanda, you know, how did you get here? Well, one, I was shot up for no apparent reason, and all of a sudden I heard your voice. Doesn't make sense.
So wait, is he lying? First of all, let's look at his personality. Is it the same personality as the Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, or entirely different?
No,
It is definitely that X-Men jovial Quicksilver, you know, with Sweet Dreams playing in the background. It is that personality, that kind of like quirky, douchebaggy kind of like late 90s, early 2000s kid attitude that he's embracing like at all times. And it seems like we saw a little bit of it in the last episode, right? But the more that things start to spiral out of control, in the last episode, Wanda literally said, imagine if I had to send all these kids to dentist appointments every day. She clearly can't manage this, which is why as you go out towards the perimeter of the hex, you see less and less and less is happening. It's like a really bad episode of the Truman Show. She can't manage all these different things that are going on. So the entities that she's either created or tuned into in Pietro and the two boys are doing their own thing, and she's slowly losing her grip on how she can control everything that's going on around her.
Right.
So then how is it then, so explain, how would you explain that the further out on the edge of town, like when Vision went off to find out what was going on, she has less control? Is it out of her power scope?
If you ever played Street Fighter 2, think about the background animating for Street Fighter 2. All the background characters just going like this.
They're looping.
You got Jorge's attention. Jorge loves Street Fighter.
That's all they're doing. So he's maintaining that illusion in the immediate sphere around, but everything else is just exactly that. It's just looping.
You win. Perfect.
But no one makes it creepy is the fact that when they show the lady with the hanger, it's like they're in pain. The weird thing is like you just think they're in control, but based on the one guy from Vision touched him in the office that freaked out. Like these people must know they're being mind controlled, and it must not feel good. Can't you guys see now? Again, looking ahead,
Harvey too. Yeah. I mean, she's not animating.
Yes, they are. But now there's speculation. Are they already dead?
That's a good question. But
my one reason for saying this, there's one big reason for saying this. All of a sudden now it's Halloween. We got kids in Westview. We didn't have kids.
Who are the kids?
Exactly. Is she dragging dead bodies into Westview in order to control?
Do you guys remember Pietro said, go get them, hell spawns?
Yes.
Do you think that was the clue?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we've seen with the devil is in the details, and that's not all where he is. Like I know that at this point the Mephisto thing has become a meme, but with all the clues that are out there, at this point, if they don't bring in Mephisto or some otherworldly demon like entity type of deal with this type of stuff, it's going to be like Lost, where like 10 million people all thought, oh, okay, it could go this way, or it could go this way, it could go this way. And they're just like, we don't even know what happened. But I don't think that's what Disney's doing. I think they've had a very solid plan. And just because a lot of people have predicted that it's Mephisto, I don't think that makes it predictable. I just think that that's a hopeful thing and a theory that caught on.
have you guys heard about them saying that Disney doesn't want to represent the devil because in China,
Yes.
you can't put the devil in media. So they think that they're going to go another route. I heard rumors, people saying that maybe it's Loki. I would actually hate that because it would take the story in another direction. Like, Dom, what do you think about that? Do you think that they are going to go the Mephisto route, or do you think?
So the thing about Mephisto, right, is that we've never seen Mephisto in comics before either. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. In the movies, we haven't seen him. So, you know, then there's I read a really small theory where someone's like, maybe it's going to be something like Dormammu and then tie it back into Doctor Strange, which I think could be kind of whack. I don't know. I think that a lot of these key indicators could be red herrings. I think that Mephisto exists or will exist in some kind of capacity. Hopefully it's better than Galactus being a giant cloud at some point. I just don't know where they're going with it. And I think that whatever it's going to be is going to be a last episode reveal. I think this is a long game. I think that the next 3 hours, because the next 3 episodes are all an hour, right? And the next 3 hours are really going to put us to the test and really show us where they're going to go. I think these first episodes set up the drama, set up the where you can really relate to the whole entire cast, let's say, right?
When the first breath of winter through the flowers is icing, and you look to the north, and a pale moon is rising, and it seems like all is dying, and would leave the world to mourn.
Snap out of it. Got a really good grip on that entire situation. Wanda's trauma at finding Vision's body. I still maintain, I think it's Ultron. I think that the Ultron imperative is inside of Vision's body, and I think that the Ultron imperative sent out a message to Wanda. She came, rescued Vision. Vision's awake and has no idea that Ultron is manipulating, and I think it's all tied together in some way with Ultron, because in the comics, any of Ultron's creations always had this subconscious desire to bring him back they didn't know about. And then in Guardians of the Galaxy, you come to a reveal where Ultron eventually beamed his consciousness into space and became a foil for them in the cosmic side of the universe. So I think that we're expecting Mephisto because that's all the little nuggets that they've been dropping. I think it's going to relate something back to. And then there's the rumor that James Spader was seen on set at some point. So who knows?
After every show of WandaVision, they fucking have Age of Ultron there. They're just trying to
push that show.
Watch it. Yeah.
The other thing to remember, you started out like what you were saying, how a lot of people think that it's not going to go that route because of Chinese censorship. You know, Azazel was in the Chinese release of X-Men First Class, and he looks exactly like a devil. And then on top of it, with the Loki trailer, there is the stained glass image of a devil, and it's pretty identical to Mephisto in the comics.
But just to take that Ultron theory a little bit further, in the comics, he does adapt to the because there's always evolution with Ultron.
Yep.
He does adapt to AI to the point where he can submerge himself into human beings. It happened with Hank Pym on many.
Happened with Iron Man.
Happened with Iron Man, to the point where there may be a human being in these episodes that is Ultron, that basically is perpetuating an AI sensibility, and that's Ultron themselves. So who knows? Director Hayward, shit, it could be Jimmy Woo. It might even be Darcy.
If we take out the Mind Stone, maybe the best parts of him are still there. Well, that would still mean that part of Ultron is in existence in Vision, and just like Dom pointed out, and James said, Ultron always comes back. That's like one of the main problems and why he's one of the biggest threats in existence in the Marvel universe is he always comes back and he does adapt. And touching also on what James said about him infecting people's minds, the fact that Vision can manipulate people's minds does show that there is a precedence for it.
Yeah.
See, right now, something is possessing Dom's mind because he's
right. He's 100% right, because if you think about it, right, so Vision doesn't, in theory, that Mind Stone is fake. It's destroyed. He doesn't have the Mind Stone, but he's able to zap and he's able to restore people's memories and vice versa. That's not a power that Vision has ever had outside. In fact, we've never seen him illustrate that power, but he definitely doesn't have the Mind Stone anymore. Yeah. And then I think, Darnell, you brought up earlier about can't control Pietro, can't control the twins. and then you see the twins' powers manifest, which we expected, and you see Wiccan's powers manifest. You know, he's got that blue aura, and he's able to do things that Wanda can do. So they've created an illusion now that's living on its own.
Bravo's holding up his pornographic comics right now.
Ass of Ultron. Oh.
Yo, so listen, so what do you guys, I mean, because the people in the town they're paying, let's assume that they're not dead. If these people survive and leave this town and, you know, do you guys think they're going to be part of the whole anti-mutant campaign? Would this be a slick way to kind of usher in the perception of people that before they love the Avengers, they're like, hey, taking pictures with Hulk. But after this, you can see how these people were like, know what? Screw this. We were in pain. Could you guys see that?
Or this is where mutants come from.
Yeah, because we've referenced it a couple times that basically the hex that she's basically had over this entire town has been caused by the radiation that happened amongst the 4 snaps. So, and the thing is, now she has the power to control it. She can make it bigger than what it actually is. And the fact, even at the end, when you saw how big she can make it even bigger. Who knows if she don't wrap this shit around the entire world and infect everybody?
Her ability, though, it came from the Mind Stone. It is the Reality Stone's power. Like she has an unknown potential as far as it goes, especially since the stones were destroyed. Like
the energy had to go somewhere.
Exactly, that energy still exists. So if she is now the containment of all of that to begin with, or even if it was just like her powers had no limit and they're going a little more in the comic route, you know, it's still unknown what she can do. And we're seeing already with the MCU that they're going in that route, that instead of cheering for superheroes, it's now, maybe we should be a little weary of it. Look how Spider-Man ended.
Yeah.
Right. Well, exactly. So you can see the whole anti-hero sentiment starting to build, which would open the door for the X-Men in the future. Now, based on what you guys are saying, like with Monica Rambeau, do you guys feel that she already had her powers? But now they're kind of saying it was her going in and out of the hex that's actually increasing her powers. Where are they going with the whole Monica storyline?
Look, so the original Captain Marvel was hit by a Kree energy beam, and I'm sorry, the original Miss Marvel was hit by an energy beam, and then Captain Marvel, transferred that power and gave her powers, right? So now we have Monica, who has gone into the Hex, was a victim of the Hex. Wanda shoots her out of the Hex, flies her halfway across Jersey, I think is what they said.
Yes.
And now she does an MRI, and you can't see anything inside her. Something has changed there, and she is going to evolve into, because she was the second Captain, or the third Captain Marvel, I think, right? No, the second Miss Marvel.
Monica was the first female Captain Marvel.
Right, but she was the second Miss Marvel, right? Before she was Photon? Or am I wrong with that?
She turned to Spectrum after that.
Spectrum, okay.
But the biggest deal amongst all of that is that I believe Monica has had her power scale for a little bit of time, because director Hayward tends to always mention, like Michael Roman mentioned in our last episode, that pretty much that she's had this power scale for like a little bit of time. He knows about the events of her dealings with Carol Danvers, and now basically she took a full blast from Scarlet Witch and she was fine the next day. So it was like, okay, something's up here. Necessarily, she has a little bit of a ways, and the thing is, Hayward is pretty much onto it. I also didn't like the fact that the man basically talked about her mama to her face. I was ready to come through.
Yo, what you say about my mama? Break yourself. No.
You're like, you wasn't here when your mama died. My mama.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's crossing the line, especially in the Black community. She should have been like, "Oh no, no, it's on now." So now, all right. So this is another popular question. So I'm going to throw this out to you, Sam. Who is Monica's guy? And let me throw this out there. A lot of people want everyone saying Reed Richards, but remember they did mention before in the other episode that there's a crew lost in space. So would that discount Richards, or maybe that crew's talking about Nick Fury and the Skrulls on his little Skrull ship?
I don't know. I hope it's Reed Richards. I have a feeling it's not. I don't think it's gonna be. Maybe it's Deadpool. You're right.
Another aerospace engineer that Monica Rambeau had a very long romantic relationship with happened to be Blue Marvel, other than Adam Brashear.
Oh wow!
So that would definitely be another person to basically like throw into the hat, and that would be excellent because that man is the OP of OP in the Marvel universe. So
is he like Superman? Is he like Marvel's Superman?
He's probably one of them, other than basically like Hyperion and Sentry and all those like type of people and everything like that. But the thing is, it's like a very extreme OP character, and it would be hard to do.
Like, Bravo, let me ask you, like, what do you think about Marvel's pacing? Because let's go back 10 plus years ago when they came out with Iron Man, you know, at the end of the movie credits, you saw the Captain in snow. Like, they always give you little bits, and they don't mind waiting 10 years. Like, people, they're like, oh, I want to see Mr. Fantastic now. But Marvel, they're in no rush. Matter of fact, there's so many characters in the X-Men franchise. Do you really think that they're going to just start throwing stuff? They're going to do the Justice League DC formula. Like, let's make a movie with all the heroes. Like, you know, do you think Marvel's just going to be wiser about this?
Of course they are. That's been the formula from jump.
Yeah, I think Marvel's going to be very intelligent about it. You know, they're calm and patient, and they really build on everything, because the thing that a lot of people forget, like, you'll have a lot of people that want to write fan fiction or writers that just start out and they'll want to make a superhero universe. The problem is there's so much information. You're talking about years of several different authors all writing about all of these hundreds of different characters that are all interacting with each other over different timelines, different what ifs, and this and that and the other thing. And Marvel understood, listen, if we're going to make this, we need to be patient. We need to put little things in so everything makes sense. If we're going to talk about gamma radiation, then we need to bring in Hulk, and we need to explain like what that effect is. If we're going to talk about how we can't have mutants, then they have to have their powers given to them from something else. Okay, well, we keep talking about the Infinity Stones. Is there a possibility with that? Well, he's a speedster and she controls reality, so I guess we could use the Space Stone and reality as the basis of their powers. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, they build it so well, and every little thing that they are introducing, no matter how grand the scope is, they take time.
This is taking too long for you. Games, Mr. Big Lip, just move it. Let's pick it up. The same question over and over. I heard it.
Insert it a little here and there. I think WandaVision is going to be a very big payoff, and I think we're going to see a lot of little breadcrumb trails going everywhere.
Bravo, I got some bad news for you.
What's that?
There's no season 2 of WandaVision.
Once upon a time, fabric softeners cost a lot, but now there's new Snuggle fabric softener.
Hi, I'm Snuggle. Snuggly softness. That's really less expensive. Look, I get towels fluffy, blankets cuddly, clothes don't cling.
What you got there? Oh, this? Oh, I use Dowie now. It works better than Snuggly.
Dowie? You backstabbing bitch!
WandaVision 2, back into habit.
No.
They know I just always refer to Sister Act 2 whenever I can. It's just the most random movie. And it's just
Were you like a random extra as like a small child in Sister Act 2?
What's that?
Were you like a random extra in the background of Sister Act 2?
Yeah,
I was the little black kid singing, Dom.
Jesus washed. When Jesus washed my sin.
feel Marvel's teaching viewers how to slow down again? Because you have the Mandalorian that they're like, here's your whole, or not Mandalorian, I'm sorry, bad example. You have shows on Netflix that just give you the whole season. But I feel like Disney and Mandalorian and like WandaVision, they're making you wait, just like old TV back in the 80s and 90s. Like you want the next episode, you gotta wait.
So here's the Netflix formula, right? Originally, the Netflix formula was boom, take it all and eat it. Then when they came out, I think it was Daredevil season 2. Was season 2 the one with the Punisher? It was, right? When they came out with season 2, they realized we need to do it more in vignettes because otherwise it ends up being a 13-episode story and people don't go back and rewatch long stories like that. So they did it where it was broken into 3 definitive stories within that one season.
There was arcs.
There was arcs, exactly. And that's what great comics and great stories have, is great arcs. And if you look at all the phases of the MCU, those are the biggest story arcs of them all. So with WandaVision, how do we take a massive story that's ended like an Endgame, and how do we reboot it in a way that's going to get people interested?
Who's the one guy you would sleep with? John Stamos. What? Did we just become best friends? Yup. You want to go do karate in the garage? Yup.
With a slow burn, and then you get everyone invested with WandaVision. By the end of WandaVision, now we have 3 blockbuster 1-hour-long episodes at the very end, where it's like bam, bam, bam. After this, literally 2 weeks later, we get Falcon and Winter Soldier. Immediately after that show wraps, Black Widow. Immediately after that airs, we get Loki. Immediately after that airs in July, we get Shang-Chi. A month later, we get Eternals. We're gonna have so much content.
We will always have Marvel on our mind.
We'll always have Marvel on your mind, exactly. And the great thing is that it's going to cycle into different types of stories, where we all know that the Captain America universe is more like political, psychological thrillers, whereas this is like a different kind of story. When you compare it to DC had a movie come out a couple years ago, and then $70 million later, we're going to watch the same movie in a month. And I know that's another episode of the Party Nerds entirely, but I'm going to, oh my God, there's people outside my house right now. Hold on. But on the real, Marvel's slow burn is, if you are smart enough to just accept it, is going to give you a greater payoff in the end, because no one expected Iron Man to blow up the way it did, except for the people like in this chat and people like us that were huge fans.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Would you say you didn't? Facts or no?
I didn't.
Nobody thought it was going to blow up.
They said Iron Man. I was like, Tony Stark? No.
Exactly. And nobody, like, I'm a huge Iron Man stan, and I was so excited. And he was only Iron Man for 8 to 13 minutes in that movie, but it was incredible. And that payoff, slowly but surely over time, as they got the rights back and they got the creative control back, has gotten better and better and better and better. And at this point, we're at the point where we just have to have faith in the source material.
And Dom, I get back your point. Like, working for Verizon, one thing, like not just Verizon, AT&T, a lot of these companies want to do, though Verizon being the best, they don't care. They don't want people to buy the phone out. They don't want you to come in and be like, I'm going to buy the phone. They want you to pay on it monthly, because when you pay on it monthly, it's like you're giving them your time. So you're investing in it. So one thing Verizon is like, look, if you pay on this for 2 years, you're going to be a customer for 2 years. Like, let's compare that to what's going on with Marvel. They're like, if we just did like Cobra Kai just gave you the season, 2 weeks people will talk about it, but now are we talking about Cobra Kai? Like, it's done. Like,
look at what happened in Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones ended and everyone canceled HBO. People kept HBO for 23 years because of Game of Thrones. The minute it was done, it was canceled. So if you're looking at a new business model, it's the same as it used to be 100 years ago with NBC and must-see TV. I'm going to watch it every week because I know that I'm going to enjoy it every week. This is forcing people to watch TV they used to again.
Absolutely. Now, Sam, let me ask you a question. So next week, they're kind of the rumor is they're kind of going like in the Office feel, late 2000s and stuff like that. Like, first of all, do you think, how funny would it be if Darcy came back as the girl from Max from Two Broke Girls?
That would be amazing. They should totally do that.
You know what? I normally I wouldn't think that was possible, but Marvel, they just might be that smart to actually
was that an ABC show? What network was it on?
It's a CBS show.
We can.
Oh,
it's a CBS show. I don't think they would do it.
No.
But
they CBS.
Let's see. They did Malcolm in the Middle. That was on Fox. Family Ties, Fox.
And they own Fox. Yeah. Just make her a waitress, and we'll all get the idea.
They can make her a waitress.
Make her a
waitress.
Change the color. You don't have to put the same outfit on.
But wait. Who did the movie Kick-Ass? Well, Kick-Ass is Marvel. Remember, they were like Kick-Ass.
No, Kick-Ass Image.
It's not Marvel.
Not Marvel.
Image.
Really?
Yeah.
They did
Get out.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
are we just going to get little bits and pieces like Bravo? Do you think that before WandaVision's out, we're going to have the word mutants said? I think at this point, if they say the word mutants, fans will just lose their brain.
I'm interested to see in how they're going to do it. Are they going to do it where the multiverses cross over and a bunch of the people come over? Are they going to do it that the cosmic energy that Wanda is emitting because of the reality warping powers of the Infinity Stone, is that going to be the catalyst that creates new mutants and people that are like already have lived their lives start developing mutant powers? However they're going to do it, I do think that they're going to bring in mutants. I think it's going to be reverse House of M. And I know a lot of people have been calling that for a while, and I know we've all agreed with that as well. But I think that's the way to bring in the Fox mutants.
Wait, in the comics, where do mutants come from in the comics?
They're just born. Mutants are just born in the comics. In the Ultimate Universe, you find out that Wolverine was the first mutant. He was experimented on by the government, and then he eventually evolved into other mutants.
I was going to say, it depends on whatever time stream you follow, because there are some where there are mutants. The first mutant is Apocalypse and Salvanor.
Yeah.
And then there are other ones where it's, okay, well, they really started popping up after the bomb explosion, which is why they're also called Children of the Atom.
Look, then there's somewhere where the Kree came down and experimented on the first humans, and they became either Eternals or mutants or Inhumans. There's so many different continuities.
You have to start it with historical preference. So Eternals is the way to go. That's the best way to do it if you're going to start it from scratch. You started from WandaVision, it looks dopey. Like it starts from this timeline, and then you got to work your way backwards. You have to start from the Eternals and Deviants deriving from Celestials, and then basically deriving the mutant gene and then passing it on down to Earth. And that's how mutants basically started to build up around the entire Earth. They're already here. They've been hiding in plain sight. Done.
Wanda and Quicksilver were first written in Avengers comics, and that's why that they were able to use them when they didn't have the rights to mutants.
Yeah, and even so, they even sometimes utilize the relationship with Magneto, not as father, son, and daughter. They used it as mentor and mentee.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, quick question, because I know with Shang-Chi coming up, and this is just for me not knowing, the 10 rings, because I'm hearing words that these rings are also going to play a part in the storyline. How are they different from the Infinity Stones with the 10 power, or are they power rings? Like what's the ring arc?
Mandarin, his original powers, he had 10 rings, and the 10 rings, and this gets really convoluted, came from 10 dragons or 10 aliens from another planet. Gets super convoluted, but the Mandarin originally, as an Iron Man villain, had 10 rings that did 10 different things. It was like Green Lantern, but he went and bought the entire buffet kind of deal, right?
An Asian Ric Flair.
Yes,
$5 in the
Exactly. So when you look at the comics, the Mandarin would have been a horrible stereotype to bring forward in the MCU. So we know they try to reference him originally with the 10 rings in Iron Man 1, that the terrorist organization that kidnapped him was the 10 rings. You see it referenced again in the first Ant-Man when they're
we're not in love anymore.
So are we going to see Fing Fang Boom?
Oh my God. I hope not.
Yo, he's great. He's such an absurd looking character.
It's basically the dragon from Dragon Ball showing up.
I am Shenron. I shall grant you any wish. Now speak.
No, don't do it.
You think we have the CGI for that now?
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Yes, we do, but no, please don't do that.
All right, guys, Party Nerds, we are out. We'll see you next week. Woo!
PartyNerdz, 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 PartyNerdz.